Hello, VFP and everyone who watched this video, and happy International Day of Peace, a very special day for everyone on earth. I'm very happy to share with you today on this very important topic, talking about peace. So the first question is, what is peace? What does peace mean to me? To understand what is peace, first of all, we must understand what is violence within ourselves. Normally, when we talk about violence, we would refer to some physical or external forms of violence that we can see through our eyes. For example, two group of people fighting, two countries going to war, or any arguments between two persons. But actually, if we look deep inside into our mind, the real cause of the war, violence of all kind of conflicts is the dualistic mind. I mean the thought, the thinking mind. We have been living in our thinking mind, our thought, use only a brainy tool to set a goal in our life in the world for thousand years, and so that's we are living still in the war. So through that dualistic way of seeing things, or through that thought as a tool to live in the life, we divide first of all ourselves. We have the divisive mind that divides ourselves, fragmented self that we are living. We have tensions and conflicts in ourselves. The um, the choosing mindset that we need to choose the path of life between right or wrong, good or bad, and you and me, externals versus internal things. So this is the first cause of violence within ourselves. By changing our mindset, which is always seeking peace as a goal somewhere that we set the goal somewhere from outside. By changing that mindset, stop looking outwardly to find peace or happiness from something outside, but start looking inwardly, internally, to see to understand the really natures of our own violence within ourselves. That is the beginning of peace. So to me, peace is the absence of the dualistic way of seeing things, and it is the ability to feel our own being, which means to feel the other within ourselves, to feel the oneness within ourselves. The second question is, how do I experience peace in everyday life? To answer that question, first of all, let me clarify some. It seems like there is the time implications in that question. I mean the word every day. It depends on how do we view peace for ourselves. If peace means something that you imported from outside, maybe that is the accumulations of experience that you need to keep update from day to day, that you need to practice from day to day. But to me, that is not the real ultimate peace at all, because through that times of cultivation, you need to do some things again in this very life. But if peace is the feelings of our own core being within ourselves, the timeless state of mind that I'm referring to right now, then you are not really living in a sense of there is day to day to practice peace. So I do not have that sense of day to day of practicing peace. It's not about practicing something to achieve peace, because peace can't be achieved. It can be realized through our own being to come to the state of the right here and now. And that timeless state of mind, that really deeply meditative states of the mind, is the eternality. So you are living beyond the time. It's not about you are experiencing day to day, but you are experiencing the timeless state, something beyond the day, the year, all the time. It's something always right here and now, eternally. timelessly. So that's my answer to the second question. So the third question is, what does culture of peace mean to me during this COVID-19 pandemic? The word cultures of peace, it implies, to me, it implies something that peace need to be in culture. It can be culturalized, which again implies times to practice, to do something. So it depends on how we view peace. If peace is obtained by doing something to achieve something, that maybe our society accept that, recognize that as one kind of peace, but to me it's still very, very temporary peace, which is not the ultimate, it's not the real peace at all. We are talking about International Day of Peace, and from my point of view, it's impossible for us to realize such thing as international peace for something which is globally, internationally peaceful thing without individually, I mean internally from individual persons realize our own internal peace for our own being. So if we come back to the very root cause, to the internal, to the individual level of peace, which is when we talk about individual peace, we talk about internal peace, then it is not something that can be imported or encultured from something outside. So when we talk about that internal peace at the individual level, which is the very um, foundation for international peace, then it's not about to do something, to practice something, to achieve peace as a goal. But if peace is something inside, deep inside ourselves, our core spirit of ourselves, then we don't need to do anything to practice peace, but we need to drop all kind of practice, but just come back to the now, to simply realize the present moment. By that simple being in the right here and now, that is what I recommend. If I could recommend to everyone in the world, that during this COVID-19 period, it is very critical moment for humanity as a whole, that we this is the only time for us that we can stay more closely to our body, to our self, to our core being, to the right here and now than any time ever in the whole um, histories of human being. Because through COVID, external pressures, we are more being confined at home, and that's the only chance for us to have more chance to realize these very moments, the present time, the right here and now, and be liberated from being imprisoned in our own thought that we have been living in past thousands generations, thousand years already. So during COVID-19, if you can see it as an opportunity to liberate yourself, it's a good time for you to feel your own being, to come closer to the present moment in your home, with your family. Now, that's my um, view, and also a kind of recommendation to everyone in the world. For the fourth question, how do I practice peace within my community, my societies? Again, it depends on how we view peace. If peace is something to practice to achieve something, then you need to do something with your people, your community, your society. But if you really come back, I mean your brain, your thinking mind, that have been trapped in this social, cultural, religious system for 1,000 years, that have always been flying through time to the past and to the future, And when it comes back to your own being in the present time, and you rely your head, your brain touch the cause of your own heart, come to rest at home, which means your own heart, then peace to you is not an experience or something to do anymore, to practice anymore, but it is your own internal being. When you realize that timeless state of mind, so when you go to live, to communicate with people, to live in community, in society, your fragrance, your gracefulness, your internal shyness, so peace will impact, will affect other people through your speaking, through your being, even if you do nothing, but only your presence with them will somehow change the way they view themselves, the way they communicate with you. And that is the seeds of peace that is shining and growing from internal individual peace to the international peace. That's what we call International Day for Peace. Thank you very much for listening to this video, and be happy and peaceful within your mind. Be present always. Thank you.